Hello there and welcome back to Finland. My name is Panu and I am building this 15-meter liveaboard cruising sailboat. In previous video we did a trip to Amsterdam. That was awesome, I think. There's a little bit of continuity issue because that's going to happen actually next week from now. So yeah. Anyway, I just started to do some prep work for putting more frames in. I rounded this corner here on the other side, so now it's rounded and smooth, so it can accept fiberglass eventually. I wanted to do that before I put any more frames in. I'm gonna glue some of them during this week, I hope. But I think this video is gonna be actually just something totally different. And it's all about these things here. These are, of course, the mast steps that have been kind of overdue for a long time. But eventually when I ordered them, they came within 2 weeks. I got them just yesterday and they look just phenomenal. This material is 5mm steel and this round shape here is 8mm steel, and there is a pretty good weld here on the both sides. It looks very, very sturdy, and of course the mast will be placed here. These are gonna be installed into the boat and they will be permanent piece of the boat. There's a bolt holes here. I will bolt them through, and all this space around here is gonna be laminated with solid wood, so they will be super sturdy. And before we can get into that, there is one more thing I need to do for these, and that is to take them to hot dip galvanizing. I think I'm gonna do that tomorrow, and for preparing that we need to do one thing. And that is to drill a hole in here. I got instructions yesterday that any kind of piece that can hold any liquid must have drain hole in it, and this cavity doesn't have that, so we need to drill hole in here in order to get all the remains of the cleaning and of course the zinc itself drain out from this container here. So I bought 12mm metal drill bit and let's drill a hole in here. It's not a very good quality drill bit, but it did the job. Then the second one. Hole number 2. Okay, holes are done. Now I'm just gonna clean up the debris. Have I mentioned that I don't really like working with metal, except for the music, of course. It's kind of dirty and annoying. I'm gonna use this countersink bit to clean up the edges a little bit. I hope this is for metal, I don't know. All right, now they're ready to be taken to the galvanizing. I think now I'll lift them to the car, and tomorrow we will drive to south to get this to that facility. And after the trip next week, they should be ready to pick up and to be installed. That is amazing.
No niin, tässä tapahtuu tämmönen urakka. Nyt huidotaan tästä muutama levy tonne teräslavalle. Siitä lähtee kuumasinkkaukseen vähän peltejä. Joo, ei se niin paljon siihen kaada. Muistat porata reijän.
Siinä on reikäpohja.
Joo, oli tärkeetä, ettei jää noi mömmöt sinne. Tää on isompi, mutta ei nää voi paljon painaa, kun Panukin jaksaa niitä nostaa, niin ne täytyy olla kevyitä. Ne on todennäköisesti jotain palsapuuta, kun ne on kevyen näköisiä. Kun mietitään sitä, mihin ne tulee, niin ei tule kestämään.
Luotto on kova.
Luotto on kova. Siihenhän ne saa. Olisit laittanut sen sinne toiselle puolelle, kato.
Laitan yhdellä rautalangalla tuohon samaan nippuun.
Ja nyt se saadaan rengastettua siihen tuommoisella rautalangalla ja siitä ne sitten odottaa kuumasinkaukseen lähtövuoroa.
Kato miten hienoa jälkeen.
Joo, se on kato hieno suihku plasmalla vedetty, kato. Niin. Tää voi olla jopa laaserilla. Ja tämmöisellä kuorma-autollahan se tietysti tuotiin. Kuorma-autohan täytyy olla, kun tämmöisiä metalliasioita tuodaan. Nyt siinä todistusaineistoa, että ne on tänne jätetty ja pantu rautalangalla kiinni siihen johonkin reikään vaan. Mä luulen, että täällä muilla asiakkailla ei todennäköisesti ole ihan samanlaisia. Uskallan epäillä.
Kato, se on silleen, että metrin pätkä ratakisko on ainoa hyvä esine. Jos se on pidempi, se vääntyy, ja jos se on lyhyempi, se katoaa.
Se on totta.
Ja nämä on vähän lyhyempiä.
Näin se meni, eli sen takia ne on nyt rautalangalla kiinni, ettei ne katoa.
Just näin.
No.
Alright, that was quick. Now the pieces are over there waiting for the hot dip galvanizing process, and in a couple of weeks I will come and take them and bring them to the boat. We'll see. Alright, got some more lumber. This top layer is for the keel timber, and the bottom part, those shorter ones, they are for the packings around the masts. This is about 1/3 of the material I need, and still need material for the side beams here on the other side. That's basically 2 times more material than this. And the reason I picked this is a week from now, after I get back from the Mets trade, we're planning to have a session to mill all these to proper size. Now I think I'm gonna glue 3 frames back there. Got them all ready yesterday to be glued in. Then I just pack my things, and tomorrow I will leave to Amsterdam. but you have already seen what happened there, so I need to pack all this camera gear and stuff. I hope it was nice. Alright, it's now a week and a half later after the Amsterdam trip. Last week really went just to getting all the loose ends tied with the work in the office there, so nothing much have been happening here since. But on Friday we had such a good day with one of the patrons. Thank you so much. We cut all the materials for the side beams and the keel timber on the sides, and they're in 2 piles in here, and that's absolutely amazing. Next I need to still plane them into proper thickness, but that's going to be much later. There's no really hurry with that thing just yet. More important thing was that the same patron, thank you so much for your visit and your effort. He actually picked up the mast steps for me, and let's take a look at those right now. Tätä niin. Alapäitä, että se ei varmaan ihan... Se ei mene nyt vielä. Ihan. Sitä on luontaisesti helpompaa kahdesta. Yllättävää. Joo. As you saw, we got them lifted on their places right away, and they fit super well, and they are so neat and nice. Now they are roughly on their places. The next thing really is to start making the packing between these 3 frames. I'm not really sure how I'm going to do that yet, but most likely I'm going to start with just the space between the main frame here in the middle and the mast step itself. So if we take a little bit of a closer look, this of course is the mast step. We need to do a little bit of relief here to fit the round thing in here. It was initially a little bit smaller so it would fit between the molds, but I made it a little bit larger so it didn't. So small piece out, not the big deal, it's just a mold. This whole area between these 3 frames is gonna be filled with wood. Pretty much the same manner with the stern assembly back there, but it's gonna be done in a couple of sessions. First, I think I'm gonna do between this mast step and this frame to make a big packing in here. So there's holes in there, and there's gonna be bolt through this whole thing on the other side. So the mast step will be glued with epoxy and also bolted with several bolts on the both sides. And after that, this whole area in here will be filled with wood as well. So it will be a super sturdy area between the mast step and all these 3 frames. And the reason really is that these masts, when they are freestanding, all the forces will be transferred into the hull with this mast step and the beams on the deck eventually. So there's only 2 points where all the forces of the mast will be braced against. So that's why these are so substantial. But if you think about normal boat, there is also several cables, shrouds and stays and this will have none of those. So all the rest of the frame of the boat will be kind of free of everything of that regard. No through the deck joints and no chain plates or anything like that. So this is one of the two things that keeps the mast on its place. So I want to do it properly. I think it's gonna be in the next video or two next videos of all this process, because there's still some things to figure out. First, I need to of course make all the wood for this. I have started that. Then I need of course to get the bolts and the holes for the bolts. Then I need to make sure that I can glue this thing with epoxy, because this new hot dip galvanized surface is quite slippery and smooth. So I need to kind of take a look a little bit how should I prepare this surface for the glue up, because of course I want to have this whole thing really well attached to the wood, and there is going to be epoxy, a lot of epoxy between there. I think that shouldn't be a problem. Some roughing of the surface a little bit and stuff like that to really get the epoxy to hold into this metal. Also, there's a little bit of an issue that this is really, really cold now. It's around 2 to 3 degrees Celsius in here, so maybe I need to warm up this a little bit somehow. Not sure how, because it's kind of open space and I cannot heat this place that much anyway, so we'll see about that. But I think I now continue by taking this material and start cutting them on size. I need to check the plans a little bit, so how long they should be. This is the first batch of the material going around the mast steps, both of them. There's of course the second one over there. And that way I think there is enough of material for this video already. So I think I'm gonna cut this just here. So in the next video we're probably gonna start gluing in the first pieces around the mast steps anyway. So we'll see about that. It's a little bit hectic. It's now December, Christmas is coming and stuff, and the weeks are a little bit kind of hard to manage, and I have quite a lot of work right now, which is a good thing. So not that much time to make the videos or make the boat right now, which is a little bit unfortunate. But also I have no hurry with this thing, because I'm now planning to have everything ready with the boat so that on spring, when the temperature rise again a little bit, I can start making the planking for the boat. So there's plenty of things to do before that, and I hope I can manage with that schedule. And that said, I'm gonna end this video right here. Thank you so much for watching. In next video, I hope we get into gluing these mast steps in, and maybe most of the frames as well. Until then, bye bye.